Today on the show, Radical Ones, grab your Death Star plans. It's 1977's Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
It's time to get radical.
Hello there.
We seem to be made to suffer. It's our lot in life.
Queen Amidala herself.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Obi-Wan has taught you well.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Or, more did you say?
Here is the path to the dark side.
I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough, and irritating. And it gets everywhere.
They fly now! They fly now!
You will be a Jedi. I promise.
Hey, Jabba, no bother.
I am a Jedi. Like my father before me.
The Force will be with you. Always.
Welcome back, Radical Ones, to another episode of the Radical Retro Rewind podcast. As always, I am your host, Radical Ryan Hunter, here with everyone's favorite brother and mine, David, for another episode of our Star Wars summer. And David, today is the main event, what you've all been waiting for. Well, I know that some of us have been waiting for
the
it.
movie that started it all.
1977.
The original, the movie that was renamed A New Hope after, because it was not A New Hope originally, as far as I know. It was just Star Wars.
It's A New Hope at a new trilogy.
There you go.
Star Wars was released on May 25th of 1977. It became one of the biggest films of all time and changed movies, toys, fandom, and pop culture forever. The famous title, A New Hope, David, was not added on the original release, like you said. The subtitle was released later when the movie was re-released after The Empire Strikes Back. So the galaxy is under the control of the evil Empire. David, as we've seen leading up to this, we know that Palpatine has his unlimited power.
Well, we know later on, we find out that he has not had any facial reconstruction work done, even though I highly suggested it.
In 20 years, he couldn't have done nothing.
I mean, his face did smooth out a little bit because
Less baboon.
Yeah, he didn't have as much. He had less contouring going on. I'll just say that.
So he might have had some microdermabrasion, David.
Maybe he had some chemical peels or something. I don't know, but the dark side does not do cosmetic surgery very well.
The dark side also probably doesn't pay too well or provide great benefits from what I'm gathering.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's no like later in life care for the dark side. They don't offer like if you have dementia or anything either. Like if you need help
you're
later
just
on,
choked out.
You just die.
You could be choked out at a table in a meeting, and you just go, So, Radical Ones, to make this episode even more exciting, we have a huge name in the Star Wars galaxy. Roger Christian. He is an Academy Award winner. He has won Academy Awards for set decorations on Star Wars A New Hope, which began a long collaboration between George Lucas and himself. He has also worked on Star Wars Return of the Jedi, and he was handpicked by Lucas to direct the second unit on Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Hey, Radical Ones, this is Roger Christian, and sharing a little video for your podcast. And as you may know, I created the used universe for George back in 1975 and 76, and I have the credit of creating the lightsaber. In fact, 3, because I had to make Luke's and Obi-Wan Kenobi's and Darth Vader's. And we had absolutely no money, the designer and I. Very little time, so I couldn't make anything in the design shops or design anything. I had to find anything that caught my eye using my instinct, because I love science fiction and I read a lot, and I'd never seen a science fiction movie that I actually believed in was real. So I was determined with George Lucas to make a film that everybody would not question this was a real place. And that's why we used Tunisia for Tatooine and created a dusty desert planet and we used all the original buildings, and John Barry only had to build a little bit, and I had to dress in all my airplane scrap and fun stuff and a little story. If you look carefully, when Luke and Obi-Wan Kenobi and the two droids are walking into the cantina in Mos Eisley, there's a huge, massive Boeing 747-sized crashed spaceship. The reason that's there is because there's an olive tree right behind it, and it was just spoiling the dusty look of Tatooine, so we couldn't cut it down. That was a farmer's living and very precious, and you know, it was very poor country when we were there. So John Barry designed a massive crashed spaceship, and I took, much to the chagrin of the people in the production department, I was taking scrap, putting it on the lorries and on the trucks, and putting sheets of Death Star that we used to build the Death Star out of. They were sheets of PVC-like material, and I stapled those up, burnt them with a blowtorch myself on a ladder, and then got some paint and aged it down and made it look like a crashed spaceship. And I tell this story because if you look, every single Star Wars from that point on, every movie had crashed spaceships in the landscape. It became a kind of meme, which is nice. And because of just the love of lightsabers around the world, and because I'm credited with creating that first one, I'm now making lightsabers, and I've just made my first actual designed one, which is called the Father, which is Darth Vader's. How I think, if I'd had the time and the money not back in 75 and 76, how I would have done it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful engineered electronic, big, heavy handle with red veins of light in it, and what I think Darth Vader should have had all this time. So have a great podcast, and sorry I can't be there, but work and needs must. May the Force be with you.
Thank you, Roger, for sending this message to us, taking the time to send this message.
That is amazing. And that just, again, is a tribute to this franchise and all the people and the love and the time and the effort that's been put into this. And we are so humbled by every time people are so willing to reach out and send a message or encouragement or be on the show or anything like that. So thank you so much. And we are so excited, and we are so enthralled by everybody, the work done on, again, going back to the people that make up this whole universe. Set design, writers, composers, actors, everything. It's so amazing.
The designer of the lightsaber.
Hello.
It warms my heart.
My son is running around with one you gave him. He still got it.
David's youngest has a light.
My little youngling
has a light, and it warms my heart as someone who grew up with this trilogy. So, and beyond, of course, the others. But to see the lightsaber and to be able to have a message from the person who created such an iconic, you can't get any more iconic than the lightsaber.
So, I mean, literally.
It's up there with the Sword of Omens for our Thundercats, the Sword of Power, He-Man. It's up there. Thank you so much for sending this message. And of course, thank you to our Cadu for orchestrating this and somehow always working his magic to get Academy Award winners. This is one of many that we've had now.
Yes, and I hope we continue to have that relationship with more people, and maybe one day we will.
Amen.
Luke Skywalker was just a farm boy until he received a mysterious message from a princess.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
She's beautiful.
Star Wars, starring Mark Hamill.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?
Harrison Ford.
Boring conversation anyway.
Luke, we're gonna have company!
I think we took a wrong turn.
Carrie Fisher.
Good luck.
Alec Guinness.
You can't win, Darth. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
20th Century Fox presents the most extraordinary motion picture of all time, Star Wars.
Here's where the fun begins.
No legendary adventure of the past could be as exciting as this romance of the future.
Here they come.
May the Force be with you in Star Wars.
So Princess Leia is trying to get the stolen Death Star plans to the rebellion, and a young farm boy named Luke Skywalker. Okay, I gotta stop right there. I found out, David, in research that Skywalker is evidently the Smith of the galaxy as for names, because I was like, how did they not change this man's name to Lars since his uncle and aunt are, watching him? Because wouldn't you think, the name Skywalker on Tatooine? Okay.
Hated it. No, I'm just kidding.
Luke is pulled from his quiet life on Tatooine into a much bigger picture. Along the way, he meets Obi-Wan Kenobi, Han Solo, Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2-D2, and they try to rescue Princess Leia, fight Darth Vader, and destroy the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star. So, David, you recently watched Rogue One, and we know from the opening crawl that this was the Rebels that was able to get the Death Star plans. Did you think of Jyn Erso and Cassian and all of them on the planet retrieving these plans in the previous movie to now?
No, not at all.
Oh, Jyn Erso, we said we were going to remember your sacrifice. Evidently not. Your sacrifice is gone.
My sacrifice was I was exhausted when I watched this movie.
David had one of his friends visit
my
this week.
Closest friend.
Yeah.
Other things going on behind the scenes, so it was a very long week for me. But
he had no sleep.
I have no sleep, but I will say this:
you watched this at what, 6 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, the movie. I woke up at 3 a.m. to go to the airport and all that jazz. So
he was Princess Leia.
The movie did not drag like perhaps some other movies did. There was no, to me, an exorbitantly long fight scenes or battle scenes or sand dune buggy scenes or whatever.
There's sand, though. God, there's sand.
Hate that sand. So that was a plus. It was like visiting an old friend. I would have to say just some key points if I might want to point out, just because
honestly, Radical Ones, for this version, of course, we have trivia to sprinkle throughout, but I just told David before recording, this is a movie that we've seen so much and it's so embedded into us that I thought we would just have a conversation, our feelings about the movie. And
I'm going to need some feedback from our listeners about one or two of the things that I'm going to say. So I noticed about 4 times in this movie that there was the added stuff.
Yes.
4 times.
Yeah. So you're watching on Disney Plus, but I do believe the CGI has been
Jabba
fixed.
Talking to Han Solo was not. I don't remember that ever being, and that's new.
That's new. That's from the special editions.
There was
the X-wings at the end. And yes.
There was also to do with the Imperial, the big ships and the planet, the planets. That was added and enhanced. And there was another scene I can't.
A lot of Tatooine. Background.
There was a few. There was at least 4 times that something jumped out and took me out of the original, and I saw that it was at least maybe even 5 that I could say that there was a noticeable shift from the original that I knew maybe subconscious. Didn't do anything horrible to the movie, but again, I felt like there was that scene with Jabba and
that's what I was going to ask you
was
about.
a little too comical, because I'm going to tell you something. Jabba could have snapped Han Solo's neck immediately. He stepped on his tail. I don't know what this need to add comic relief to a movie is. This movie was nothing to do with comic relief.
Right here, Jabba.
That was done right before the prequel, so it kind of is almost sprinkling some of that into these movies. That's the only thing I can say. It does harken back, what I'm assuming you're saying, to episode 1, 2, and 3 with the comedy and the...
We didn't need it.
So that scene, David, was originally shot with an actor as Jabba the Hutt. This was before he was just this man. He looks honestly like a medieval... What's the Little John kind of looking from, like, Robin Hood? Is that his name, Little John? A larger man, and that's Jabba the Hutt. So this was originally a man. When they had this special edition in the 90s, they wanted to tie more of Jabba in, so they resurrected the scene, but he's a man. So long story short, they added Jabba.
I would have actually rather have had a holographic image of Jabba with one of his people saying, Han, if you don't give me my money, you're dead. Like, I'm going to kill you. Not this comic relief where he steps on his tail. I appreciate Han's I could even appreciate him very quick-witted and but the Hutts, you don't mess with the Hutts. They're a legitimate crime galaxy crime family, I guess, for lack of a better word, right? I wouldn't be too comical with that. I didn't appreciate that. I'll be honest with you. That was the one thing I didn't really care for. I thought that was the one thing that really I liked the tie-in because I think it was important. Yes. But at the same time, it didn't need to go down like that to me.
I will say, you know why they added the tail part? I remember watching this on VHS. Because Han Solo walks around him before the character had a tail. So they literally, David, had to physically lift Han Solo's body up digitally to make it look like he was walking on a tail. That's why they added the tail thing in. But again, I'm with you because this whole entire movie has no humor unless I laugh over C-3PO and his
And Han
R2-D2.
Solo did shoot first.
So I love this. Okay.
He did shoot first.
In your
because
version?
Otherwise, he would have died.
Okay, I believe that.
He did shoot first, but he was basically self-defense. To me, that's self-defense because the bounty hunter was going to kill him.
Yes, Greedo. As a matter of fact, I was just going to see your boss. Tell Jabba that I've got his money.
He basically was saying, I'm not even taking you back. Why don't you give me the quote money that you have for Jabba, and I'll pretend I didn't see you.
Solo. Greedo.
Greedo.
And David has a lovely relationship with Greedo. I always loved Greedo too, but he has this memory of getting the original Kenner Greedo figure
in kindergarten as a prize in the treasure trunk for doing
that would
something
be a prize
really
to
good.
me.
So I was really excited about that.
I think, David, it would have just been good without Jabba as well and have it just because Greedo evidently sent him. So that sets up Jabba the Hutt already.
Even having that digital, like a holographic image of someone putting
so much
pressure
better
on him, being like, okay, I'm giving you one more chance, because that kind of leads up to where you see Han Solo still like that kind of grifter, bounty hunter, sort of like mercenary sort of, you give him that little bit of little grift to him, even though he's kind of a softie.
Han Solo. I'm captain of the Millennium Falcon. Chewie here tells me you're looking for passage to the Alderaan system.
Now, are you adding more of that because of Solo as well? Seeing what he's
No,
went
because
through?
I never looked at Han Solo. See, here's the thing. They created that narrative in these newer movies. Han Solo was never nasty. Han Solo was, to me, when he met Luke and did this whole thing, he was just kind of a no-nonsense older guy who was like, this kid is wet behind the ears. I kind of have to keep him in line because he's going to get himself killed. Like, he's stupid. He's going to walk into some place and I got to pull him back like my little brother he's got to pull him before he walks into the street and gets hit by a car, because he is, for lack of a better word, he's kind of like immature and doesn't know the way the world works. I never looked at Han Solo as a cruel mercenary. He's going to kill you. Like, to me, it was always like an image. Like, his persona. The persona. It was like he's just an average guy. This is his ship. Maybe he does under the table things, but I never viewed Han Solo as someone that would backstab you or kill somebody or do something. I don't know what the
rough around.
No,
the
like
edges.
a schlep.
I don't
know if someone was that.
Oh, he was a handsome schlep, though.
But you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I never got that vibe from him. They never put him in that realm in the original movies. Never. They created that narrative.
I would say compared to a princess and a smuggler, there is a difference between she's more maybe put together and everything.
Honestly,
but I agree.
If any of you have seen Spaceballs, literally obviously it's a parody of Star Wars, but it's the same thing. Lone Star and Princess Vespa, the uppity princess, because that's how Princess Leia first comes off, to this blue-collar worker, for lack of a better word. They make him out to be a no-frills prince.
They combined Luke and Han Solo into one character.
So, like, it's like how society's changed now. We're tired of putting celebrities on pedestals, and, like, we're not, like, kissing people's butts as much anymore. Like, oh my God, they should do whatever they want because they're celebrities. Yeah. Like, we're getting to the point in this society where, like, well, I don't care if you're a celebrity. You're just a person like me. So when he approached Princess Leia, he's like, hello, princess. I really don't care if you're a princess. You're just a person. And I don't think that's a bad thing. So I never got that from him. So that was one thing. I wanted to also point out that the score is phenomenal, and I think that score really, really, really carried the movie.
Elevates everything.
Elevates it, carries it, makes it memorable. Even when Luke, after he finds his aunt and uncle dead, and you did the two moons or the two sons.
It's called Binary Suns.
Binary Suns.
Gorgeous. It was my ringtone for a few years, that song.
If you didn't have the music to this movie, it would not be as successful as it was.
You know,
I'll be very honest with you. Yeah, it was cool and all, but the music elevated this so much because it brought out so much emotion.
There's Princess Leia's theme, the Imperial March. Everyone is beyond memorable.
Yes,
and it
even
does bring you back.
Well, let's be honest. Let's go back to
the theme,
Friday the 13th, and let's go back to Nightmare on Elm Street. Do you not telling me that every time you hear the Nightmare on Elm Street, you don't get a little tingle and you don't feel like that? I mean, music is.
I totally agree about the music thing. It's the perfect storm. This movie truly is the perfect storm, and I don't know. I loved rewatching it. I don't know if it's because we know it was just.
I haven't seen this movie, and I can't tell you how many. I mean, many. Like I probably well over a decade. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, well, for me, I've probably seen it 20 times in the last decade or more. But to me, there was not one part that bored me.
Nope.
Is that nostalgia?
No.
Or is it just pacing?
No,
writing?
Because I feel like, well, maybe it's just a personal preference, but I feel like when you have to over-explain something, what they did in the first movie for sure to try to set up, it's almost like a forced narrative. Sometimes it's you're over-explaining things. Sometimes you're trying to put a square peg in a round hole. And sometimes it's just, if you know the characters already, you're selling this franchise. Sometimes you don't have to explain the origin. Sometimes Jabba the Hutt is just Jabba the Hutt because that's someone that you meet along the way. You don't need to know that Jabba the Hutt once was a young Hutt and played in streams on the moons of Mondor and blah blah blah. You really don't. Nobody cares. Like sometimes it's like, unless you are a diehard Jabba the Hutt fan, like nobody really cares.
This was simplistic in the sense that, like you're trying to say, I believe, it's the first journey into this world. And at that point, it was just one movie, one story to tell. I'm sure
I get it. I saw where bits and pieces were pulled from this original movie, and there was throwbacks to the Crushing the Rebellion and all the different little nuances and the names of planets and the names of people and the stuff that was used in the new movies to tie it together.
Speaking of that, I never even picked up on the Senate talk, and they mentioned the Senate this movie,
and thank God, because
you wanted more intergalactic Senate
that would have been worthless because Princess Leia is like, when they hear about this, and he's like, I don't think that's going to do anything for you, sweetie.
You know your mother, Queen Amidala herself.
The Imperial Senate will not sit still for this. When they hear you've attacked a diplomatic...
Don't act so surprised, Your Highness. You weren't on any mercy mission this time. Several transmissions were beamed to the ship by rebel spies. I want to know what happened to the plans they sent you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take it away!
I always bring up the ages. Luke and Leia, 19. Han Solo's 32 years old. That is a difference. I didn't realize
he's a cradle robber.
I didn't realize it was that.
Wait a minute, he's 32?
32. Obi.
Okay, I can't lie. My husband's 12 years younger than me, so I guess
But I never realized it was that big of a difference. I know Carrie Fisher and him I read her book.
Affair
during this movie.
All the girls stepping out for a public affair.
The heart of this book, of course, is the love affair between yourself and Harrison. Now, given that it did happen 40 years ago...
I just remembered.
Obi is 57.
He's looking like 87.
I got something.
No, I don't mean it like that. I mean
compared to Ewan McGregor.
Wow.
Darth Vader is 41 or 42. Chewbacca 2000. Grand Moff Tarkin, who we saw was resurrected in Rogue One, he's 64. C-3PO 112 years old. No, nothing about R2 and Yoda. Even though we don't see him or hear about him, he's 896 at the moment.
Damn.
And I've been bringing it up like, oh, there's a comic for this, there's a book for this, but some things I gotta tell you I love that are added in. Can I just give you a few things that they don't?
You are more than welcome. This is your podcast.
So R5D4, the red protocol droid,
which I thought was always cute, but not my favorite.
Do you know in the Ray Carlson story, the red one, a lot of Rogue Ones, This
I
one.
thought it was more orangey, but I'll go with red.
A certain point of view. R5 blew his motivator on purpose to stop C-3PO and R2-D2 from being separated. R2 had convinced him that the fate of the galaxy lay in his hands. He literally blew himself up to have R2 go.
That's amazing.
Isn't that cute?
Self-sacrifice.
I love that.
Uncle Owen! Yeah? This R2 unit has a bad motivator, look!
Also, I kept saying, we've seen Obi now with R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Oh, yeah. I never seen these droids before. I don't know her. He did a Mariah Carey. I don't know Jennifer. J-Lo, I don't know her.
Do you think R2 was, his beeps were kind of been like, you know me. How about
I know what you did last summer, the summer before that, and 20 years ago when you cut his legs off.
You don't want to talk about that? When we dragged Padme up the ramp and we hit her head a few times?
Let's talk about the husband. Let's talk about the husband. Don't you ever talk about my husband.
That's what's gonna That's what happened.
Padme.
That's what R2-D2 was saying.
Hello there. Come here, my little friend. Don't be afraid. Oh, don't worry. He'll be all right.
Also, in the book Star Wars A New Hope, the princess, the scoundrel, and the farm boy, Obi-Wan drops the act once Luke is out of earshot and affectionately greets R2-D2, rubbing his head, saying, "It's good to fly with you again, my old friend."
What was the point? I would have said, yes, this is my droid. Yes, I know this. And yes, this is a fantastic world. And this is 20 years in the making, young Luke Skywalker.
You know why? Because he spent these last 20 years probably in preparation, like, oh, how do I reveal the father? How do I reveal that Darth Vader? Well, he does lie to him, remember? He says, Vader killed your father. And then he says, well, from a certain point of view.
She killed his spirit.
You know that the scene with that needle. I've been for years when she's in that prison and she's about to get that injection.
You know, it was terrible that Carrie Fisher could not stop doing drugs on the set of the movie just for 5 minutes. God rest her soul.
This is said with affection because we really do love.
I
Carrie
love her
Fisher.
to death.
But I wonder if she had.
Voice.
I wonder if she had a joke about that floating
I'm
needle.
sure. If just by seeing her.
Not that we said she didn't.
No.
But just in general, like a flying like drug droid or something. Like I just picture her laughing over that. Did you always wonder if she gave up anything in that room?
When I was 5 years old, I stole my mother's jewelry.
I'm
strangely attracted to older men.
She's really not my mother. She's really not my mother.
I knew my father wasn't my father. Look at my skin color. Look at him. He's so tan. I don't know.
And Darth Vader's just like, no, this is not what I wanted. No.
Her resistance to the mind probe is considerable. It'll be some time before we can extract any information from her.
I don't even want these buns on my head. Who wears buns like this?
I gotta say,
oh God, why
they revealed her so dramatically with that shot when, you know, that famous shot when she puts the cloak down and then she looks over the corner. I love that she gets one shot into before they stun her. But in the book, The Fall of Darth Vader, there's a brief description of the scene. She was injected with some kind of hallucinogenic, and Vader tried to convince her that he was a member of the Rebel Alliance and that her father needed to know the location of the Rebel base. She managed to resist long enough to get Vader to instead use the Force to make her think she was in extreme pain. She also managed to resist that, leading to Tarkin to change tactics, and then we get to the scene.
So is it
she's
because,
like,
because she's got the Jedi blood in her that she was able to resist it?
Or she just has a high resistance to certain
certain
hallucinogenics.
She's like, you have no idea what I did, what kind of partying I did over the summer in Tatooine.
We celebrate a day of peace.
You have no idea. You think that one needle, I get off on being choked to begin with, Vader. You think that autoerotic asphyxiation? You think choking me is going to do anything for me? You're only making me more excited. The Rebel base.
Well, maybe we're onto something, because did you hear the accent that she uses right after this when she's talking to Tarkin? She uses an English accent. Now, Carrie Fisher has told the story that she just heard, she was so nervous.
So she just put on English.
She started mimicking the voice of the English accent in that scene. I can smell your stench from ever. So in universe, they made it that she's making fun of him and putting on that voice like, oh.
I think that's cute.
So she really is our resistant princess.
I love a good bitch.
She's doing an English.
She's giving it back to him.
Is that an intergalactic UK?
I mean, at least she didn't go, Misa! Misa, oh.
I will not cooperate. Should she have put that voice on? I will not cooperate.
Governor Tarkin, I should have expected to find you holding Vader's leash. I recognized your foul stench when I was brought on board.
Charming to the last. You don't know how hard I found it signing the order to terminate your life.
I'm surprised you had the courage to take the responsibility yourself.
So also, evidently, Aunt Beru, Miss Milk herself, Blue Milk herself, Uncle Owen, and Obi aged so much because Tatooine has not one, but 2 sons. So if you live on Tatooine, you better get out.
Oh, for sunscreen? Or just the magnetic and...
They're saying because of the dual suns that are on ages you rapidly. So we could have had Obi-Wan looking like Ewan McGregor still.
Oh. But let me tell you something. The actor that played him was still a very attractive, very attractive man.
Sir?
Yes, sir. He was a good-looking man.
Sir Alec Guinness.
Very good-looking man, so I can't complain, but he did look much older.
Honestly, I gotta give it to Ewan. That's a great casting. They had that same kind of air about them. You know what I'm saying? That like little light. Like Ben as he
Ben
now,
Kenobi.
Ben as he goes now on them streets.
Sorry to this man.
He does have a... Kiki Palmer, we speak your name. We speak your name actually all the time on this podcast. But David, still has that air of fun about him, I feel like. He's got that little...
Mischievous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that R2 unit we bought might have been stolen.
What makes you think that?
Well, I stumbled across a recording while I was cleaning him. He says he belongs to someone called Obi-Wan Kenobi. I thought he might have meant old Ben. Do you know what he's talking about? I wonder if he's related to Ben.
That wizard's just a crazy old man.
Now, these could be continuity errors, but did you say even C-3PO was like, I don't know that woman. I don't know Princess Leia. I fly with her maybe, but...
I've seen her around once in a blue moon. I don't know her.
Oh, I see her sometimes.
Isn't she the one that doesn't wear a bra?
Isn't she the one that goes out at 12 o'clock to the spaceport to recover some intergalactic packages?
Oh my God.
He is programmed to not give up Princess Leia. He knew her. He knew all about her.
Who is she? She's beautiful.
I'm afraid I'm not quite sure,
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I think she was a passenger on our last voyage, a person of some importance, as I believe.
But see, I never got that because I swear when he comes into Luke's life, he's willing to just he's been through that desert and he's like, I'm not walking out again. I shifted through this desert. I will do anything this Luke says. Oh, he's a horrible droid. He's always been a pain. I think he just wants to survive. I think he'll say anything. So I would have thought he would have told Master Luke, listen, she's a princess. She's got the Death Star plans. Don't let me walk in that desert again.
Q trapped in the closet by R. Kelly.
I was up in this closet.
And go back to the closet.
I've got to rest before I fall apart. My joints are almost frozen.
I never realized, maybe that's why we love the droids so much. The first half of this movie is really told in their point of view. They crash, they go through the desert. C-3PO kicks R2-D2. I always remember that. He gives him a kick. You go that way? Okay. You think this is the start of their...
Sibling rivalry?
Love
relationship?
Sibling?
Heated rivalry?
So I really think C-3PO really embraced his new life. He must have been like, oh, this looks familiar too. But we know his memory was wiped at some point.
Do you remember from the other movies, did Lucas create buildings and stuff that match the old...
Yes, in Tatooine, they do have buildings that look like the original trilogies.
Because I don't remember as much, because I really...
But he added more. Yes, he added a overhead shop to make the spaceport look like it did in Episode 1. So he does expand. The famous cantina, we can't go about without that.
And those aliens that are in the quartet or whatever.
You know what the type of music... Did we talk about this before? The type of music? I think I might have said this. It's Jizz. J-I-Z-Z. Jizz music. And we also see this in the Max Rebo band in Return of the Jedi soon. It's called Jizz music.
Let me ask you this. Was that term, that derogatory, I guess, I don't know if
of jazz, I'm assuming.
No, was that term used in a sexual term prior to this movie? Because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know
what came first, the chicken or the
I don't
jizz?
know the historic use of the word.
That's a good question.
I don't know if that was just something later used that's popularized.
Any radical ones? Leah? I feel like lovely Leah would know that. She has some research. No, because she's got a deep memory.
You know what I mean? Like, when did it become a slang?
When did it become
a slang term?
Because this is jizz music.
Do
you find it odd that Obi used on Ponda Baba, which I learned so much about?
My friend doesn't like you, and I don't like you either. Is that what he said? Something like that little.
And I don't like you either. That's the one we saw in Rogue One. They added them in.
He doesn't like you.
I'm sorry.
I don't like you either. You just watch yourself. We're wanted men. I have the death sentence on 12 systems.
I'll be careful.
You'll be dead.
This little one's not worth the effort. Come, let me get you some.
At this point, there's no Jedi, right? So they kind of just go back to their business. I get that it's this place of criminals and
ill repute. You don't say nothing. You cut somebody's arm, you let it fall on the ground, keep serving.
So you notice the arm bleeds.
Where was B. Arthur?
She was off that day. Wasn't I good to you?
Didn't I pick up your arm when I got cut off?
So Ponda Baba, the guy he's with, is a doctor. This doctor is evidently a doctor of nightmares, David. He made zombies. I've read his history. Him and Ponda Baba fought because he gave him a robot arm and he was mad that he didn't like it. Then they were enemies. Then they became friends again. They turn people into robots, remove their brains and turn them into robots. He's a horrible. They said he changed his name, opened another clinic.
Oh my god!
This whole thing. He's horrible. That's just his backstory. Did we need it? I don't know, but that just adds to it. So Han Solo, Chewie. What else do we have in here? I'm trying to think. We want to hit some good parts.
Well, you see that Princess Leia's ship, she's taken. You see that the droids, they escape in an escape pod. They are being pursued by the Empire now. The droid does have the secret message that Luke does pursue, because you see that Luke has a longing to leave. He's got that in him, like his father.
He wants to evade also those two sons before he starts looking.
Yeah, he doesn't want to look old. He's like, I know what happens to people that live here. They look old.
And if I'm ever going to get a sugar daddy.
So he wants to leave. He has a yearning to leave. And you see that his uncle is discussing it with
Aunt Beru.
Saying he's afraid that he has too much of his father in him, and that's why he's holding him back. So that's like a safety thing.
You remember when he came and he killed all those sand people when we were younger, and then Obi-Wan just dropped off his baby?
The sand people were pretty scary, hardcore compared to...
And did you love that Obi has been practicing impressions? That sound has also changed 4 times.
That looks so stupid to me as an adult now. I was like, really? That scared him? It was someone in a cloak?
That sound scared me.
So we have a few things going on. Princess Leia does give up the name of the
Tatooine. It's a rebel base, but it's been out of commission.
But that's the twist. So as a retaliation, they destroy her home planet, killing her mom, dad, and the whole planet.
Isn't that horrific?
And she's like, but why? Like, she gets panicky because this is the first time she loses her cool. She's like, I gave you what you wanted. Why did you do that? And he's like, well, first of all, it was a logistic thing, because Tarkin is like, we're not going to shoot the rebel base when we're going to deal with that. But that's so far away. Like, that's not going to make a big statement. I need a big explosion that everyone can see, that you can see the power.
We want the galaxy to...
We want something big.
The beach on Scarif wasn't enough.
Yeah, that ain't gonna cut it. We need something big. So this is going to show people. And she's like, that's a peaceful planet. They have no weapons. And he's like, it doesn't matter. This is a statement.
Dantooine. They're on Dantooine.
She's devastated. Obi-Wan feels that thousands of people have been crying out, and then
he gets that Paula Abdul IBS video, dun, dun, with her holding her stomach. Obi gets that. He gets a flare up of IBS.
I felt a great disturbance in the Force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced. I fear something terrible has happened.
At the same time, he is encouraging Luke,
training
and encouraging him to leave. Luke wants to leave. Luke ends up leaving with C-3PO and R2-D2. Well, to go to find. Well, he's following R2, who takes off in the middle of the night, like, peace out, I got to do my mission.
And he's so smart. He's like, I could play back that message maybe if you take this restraining bolt off me. I love that. Nothing will stop R2.
He's like, no, I'm not going to do nothing. Nope, sorry.
God, I'm rolling through these streets again in this Tatooine.
So you have him going to find Ben. You know that Luke is going to follow because he's following his heart. And then Obi-Wan is actually encouraging at some point, once he meets Obi-Wan, to follow his heart. He tells him they're starting to build that relationship.
He sees his sister and goes, ooh, she's so beautiful.
And then you see that the little Jawas are killed by stormtroopers. And then you see Luke go, oh my God, if they shot them... Because Obi-Wan says this is too much of a clean shot. This is not from Sand People.
Yeah,
Sand People are like
they wanted to make it look like they were Sand People. Isn't that crazy? They put bantha sticks, I think they're called.
But why are you so...
I don't know why.
If you're that powerful, why would you even bother?
No sense,
it makes no sense.
We saw in the Star Wars Christmas special that they control the
Everything.
TV and everything.
So he ends up going back to the moisture farm, and he sees them. They're burnt alive, man. They're crispy.
Corpses.
Yeah, you see just bones. That's pretty graphic.
And they were just it is. And it's on again. You don't see that in
But
you
here's
don't see
the
that
thing.
in the prequels.
Here's the thing, and there's a note that I made of it.
Aunt Beru's 1970s denim house coat.
No, this is where I wanted to say the upbringing of Luke versus his father. So Anakin versus Luke. I put Luke being raised in a farm by a farmer gives him humbleness.
Yes.
And I feel like, and because he does have the support and love, even though like his uncle is forcing him, doesn't want him to leave because he is afraid that he's going to have those urges, the dark side, those inklings at his father. That grounds him.
I agree.
That gives him a foundation because he wasn't abused. He wasn't a slave.
He was loved, yes.
He was loved and cared for and treated like an average, like a kid. And I feel like that's what grounded him from not going to the dark side, because he was devastated when the aunt and uncle, obviously, people he loved, but he didn't immediately get that, every time something happened with Anakin, he was angry and childishly angry too. It wasn't just like deep-seated anger. It was like misplaced childish anger and then turned into violence. Luke could have easily been that way, and I didn't feel that. I don't know if that was just an acting thing. Like I didn't feel that from...
He does come off whiny, but realize truly after you see Anakin in the prequels, you're like, all right.
I didn't get that from him. I got.
I want to go get some power converters.
I get he was devastated.
Take these two over to the garage, will you? I want them cleaned up for dinner.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
You can waste time with your friends when your chores are done. Now, come on, get to it.
Oh, yes. No, at the beginning, he's a little more, but no, once he's thrust into this mission, and that's what happens. They meet Han Solo, they get the ship, they go, they get captured, and
it becomes an adventure. That's another thing. Here's the other thing.
He's delighted.
Here is the other thing that I think now I think I can articulate this. Movies like Star Wars, movies like The Goonies, movies of that caliber are an adventure movie. I didn't feel adventure when I watched the first couple of Star Wars movies. This created adventure for me because I didn't feel like I was growing up or having an adventure with Anakin. I felt like that with Luke.
Yes.
He was going on an adventure. And maybe that's because Anakin was already like weirdly adult-like because of the life he lived and because he had that darkness. And I don't know, maybe that's actually really a great character. Maybe I'm missing the point. I don't know. But to me, that's what a lot of 80s movies, I think why people relate to them and people don't relate to them now because they're so cynical, I feel like.
Yes. No, 100%.
And people make fun of that and they're like, oh, you're too sentimental. There's nothing wrong with a good adventure movie because it pulls you in. That's why Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones, that franchise has worked. those type of movies are adventure movies where you feel like
Goonies.
Back to the Future, even they're
Yes.
adventure movies where you feel like you're part of an adventure.
Conan, these movies that we
I
watched.
feel like it was I felt like I was going on an adventure with Luke. It was new to him. He's being thrust into this new world and this excitement and scary and
even the cantina. Did you notice he looked around like he's probably not used to seeing?
He was keeping his head down. He was with a bunch of scary people that were like gonna, and he's even like apologized. My friend doesn't like. He's like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like he's doing whatever he's supposed to do to make himself small and not be in the way of anybody. Again, loved that part of it.
And what do you think about? And we're jumping to the end when he's in it for the reward originally. We know what he's been through now. That moment when Han leaves, he is so disappointed. What do you think that is? Like, is there did he think he had a new friend?
His aunt and uncle were killed. Obi-Wan became his surrogate,
his Qui-Gon dead
parent figure very quickly and was killed.
Yes.
And then he has this older, obviously now you see that he's much older.
32. Never in my life thought he was
so
32.
He has this sort of like older brother, sort of someone to look up to, someone who's more worldly, someone that can show him the ropes, someone he is relying on, and he's disappointing him. He's like, because you could see it's disappointment. It's not like he's angry at him. He's like, really another, like you're really going to not see this through. And so I feel like that is where it's coming from. He's like, someone else is leaving me, which is also the theme, like Anakin. But it's how he processes it. He doesn't turn it into hatred and anger, resentment. He turns it into, fine, I have to do this. I have to do this myself. And that's the difference between, I guess, the dark side and the light side.
I knew I liked Luke always more.
So that's the difference. No, that's the difference.
What's wrong?
Oh, it's Han. I don't know. I really thought he changed his mind.
He's got to follow his own path. No one can choose it for him.
I only wish Ben were here.
And again, at this point,
that's why there's the difference. But they say there's a fine line between love and hate and the passion.
Yes.
I guess that is the difference between the dark and the light side of the Force, because he could have easily turned the resentment of his
everything that just happened in 24 hours.
And the thing is that
not even 24 hours, right? This takes place.
So there's a few scenes we didn't talk about. They go to the
Death Star.
The Death Star.
Well, they get pulled in.
Ben is also very like this is, but this is also, again, I appreciate, this is the one thing I did appreciate, because Obi-Wan in the newer movies, the prequels, is kind of adventurous. He goes out on his own.
Right.
And you see he does. He's always like was creeping around this Death Star, turning off things to get the Millennium Falcon out. And he's like very again, mischievous. It's almost like he was going on, again, his own adventure.
His last one.
And he was having fun with it. And he also said something.
He did have a look of delight on his face,
He's
right?
probably like, I haven't done this in years. And he's like having fun with it. And he's also said to...
And my God, those sons aged me.
He's like, if you, what did he say? If you strike me down, you're only...
I'll become more powerful than you've ever imagined.
See, that's what, again, this whole thing, like, you can't cheat death, but apparently with the Force, you can. And you don't have to be a Sith.
You don't have to be a Sith.
Unlimited power!
Maybe Palpatine's like, oh, how did that son do you, Obi?
He's like, I might have an ugly face, but at least internally I'm younger.
I look younger than you now.
I'm getting too old for this sort of thing.
Okay, so we just got to mention, do you feel that they were setting up the Leia, Luke, Han love triangle here?
Still a lot of spirit. I don't know. What do you think? You think a princess and a guy like me?
No.
In hindsight, I think it's disgusting, because I did not. Knowing that they were brother and sister, but I have to say, like, she did kiss him on the cheek, which is more of a. She almost looked at him like Amidala did with Anakin, like, you're a boy, you're younger, even though they're the same age because they're twins. Like, she looked at him like sweet.
I gotta tell you, I looked at it this time too. I realized even when she cheers him up in the,
she didn't want him.
No.
She
really does look at him like that. And I think she appreciates him. And I think she might feel a connection to him.
Yeah.
Because there's an instant thing that she's instantly comforting him. Even when Han leaves and she's like, he has to live his own life. I really feel like it is a sibling
when
thing
she knows
happening.
that leg, when she Ben Kenobi, not Ben. She didn't know about the incident. When Ben lets Darth Vader strike him down.
I always love this when he just like
disappear.
What? He's like, what?
Matthew, my youngest, was with me. He's like, why did he do? I said, I don't know. That's not what happens when he dies. I don't know. That's different. I guess he was waiting for like blood and guts or dismemberment.
But even Vader was like, oh, I'm going to step on this.
Can I take this lightsaber? Can I reuse this?
Is there some dust? Yeah, I was wondering where his lightsaber ended up. Wait, not that he's shocked, right? Because he's like, what the hell? I just really want to quickly, before we get to it, the garbage compactor scene.
A little short for a stormtrooper.
Huh? Oh, the uniform.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
You're who?
I'm here to rescue you. I've got your R2 unit. I'm here with Ben Kenobi.
Ben Kenobi, where is he?
Come on.
The trash compactor scene, that is the comedy part. I will say the one thing in this when C-3PO's, oh, curse my metal body, they're screaming R2 when they were happy. That's the comedy, I think, in Star Wars. That was the scene of comedy out of the whole thing.
But in the same vein, it wasn't overly done because his comedy comes from the fact that he is anal retentive, nervous for android. So he's a nervous.
I love him.
He's nervous. So I didn't even take it as
comedy.
It's not even super comedy.
No.
It's funny because you know that they're not being killed, but take it as like he takes on human characteristics that are characteristics that we typically don't want to be when we're humans, and it's funny to us because he is an android, and so that is comedy in a good way and not overly done like Misa Uta, which I still go back to because that's my reference. It's not just I hate Jar Jar Binks. It's not like that, but it's just like that's the reference I tend to go to because if you're following us this long, you know that I've referenced it. So I'm going to continue to reference
the
it.
tongues.
So yeah, like that's the over the top, like and the stepping on Jabba's tail and all that stuff. Those are things that are too comedically physical comedy. This isn't I Love Lucy. We don't need physical comedy.
That's true. Not Lucy comedy. Like that to me is perfect. The C-3PO, like you said, I guess that's it because he does have human qualities.
Listen to them. They're dying, R2. Curse my metal body. I wasn't fast enough. It's all my fault. My poor master.
We're all right. You did great. Hey, open the pressure maintenance hatch on unit number. Where are we? 326 3827.
Honestly, I'm thinking he's thinking, what am I going to do now? I just lost another one.
So you basically see...
I'm stuck with this
So they're
robot.
stuck in this compactor. And you also see the beginning of Leia's relationship with Han where she's doing that thing that a lot of boyfriend and girlfriends do where they're snarky to each other. She's like, I was waiting for her to like hit him on the shoulder and be like,
I'm one of you.
You stupid. You know,
I love that she starts to get her, that fake British accent really comes off.
But she's like, this is the rescue? Thanks. Like she's snarky.
That's why
like my kids would be like, really? This is the rescue?
So someone could say that she was captured and she needed rescue, right? I never saw Princess Leia as a helpless.
No.
Even in that scene when she grabs the blaster and she's shooting.
And then even
never
when there's
her
a point
as a
where
victim.
her and Luke are hanging on the side of a bridge that's not completely.
Evidently, they didn't finish this Death Star.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't extending, and I think it got blasted or something.
Yeah.
And they're getting shot at, and Luke throws some sort of like little tiny like
grappling
hook, and she's like, "What did she say?
Good luck
to you." Like basically, she's the one swinging with them. I'd be like, "Don't kill us."
I always love. She's like holding.
She's like, "Well, good luck. We're gonna die."
I do love her. I think she's an early. Okay, yes, maybe she is a princess stereotype in this first movie before they realize
she's everything that I wish Amidala was in the beginning, and she's certainly everything I wanted Amidala to be when she was pregnant. And when she should have whipped, because there would have been no dark side if I told you this. We talked about this already. I would have said, "Get your get your damn Force dark side ass on this plane, and we're going back to Naboo. I'm having these babies. I don't care, because if I do die in childbirth, your ass is taking care of this kid," because they thought they only having one. I would have said, "You're taking care of this kid, so I don't care if you think that I'm dying or not. You're going to be there, and you're going to be there with these kids, and we're not staying here, because I've been they try to kill me how many times already? We're leaving."
Blew my decoy shoes right off.
I would have said, I lost some of my best decoys.
And sequin shoes.
And shoes and outfits.
Some of my best shoes were blasted right off on my decoys.
And I got to dress like a peasant to get off this planet. You will definitely better get yourself
Really?
I would have said, what's more important to you?
It's real. It's
Your
true.
child and me, or gaining more power because you already are a Jedi. You have all the powers of every. That's what I would have said. You have all the powers of everybody else. You don't need anything else. Let's move. You could start your own little Jedi.
You want to do
maybe this Betty. Maybe
you want to play Jedi.
Maybe our baby will be a Jedi too.
Oh, you're right.
That's what I said. So you will have a little youngling right here
that you could kill. Empire on, we see our princess, but she's part of the Rebel Alliance. She's high
especially
up
when
there.
she drops.
She's a general,
when she drops the white robe garment and actually puts on like gear, like she's like
yes.
Which when we were kids, I had all the many different outfits.
The Leia,
the red.
Oh, when she goes to Cloud City with Lando Calrissian.
Oh,
we see Lando. We're going to see Lando next week.
Lando, yes.
We're going to see Lando next week.
Lando Lakes.
I do think it's one of the best sci-fi movies of all time.
Well, let's be honest. If this movie wasn't a success, you wouldn't have had the other two. Maybe you would have gotten another one.
Maybe you would have gotten Empire.
You wouldn't have got all the other ones, and you certainly wouldn't have got the prequels.
And you certainly
and the
would have gotten
spin-offs
TV.
and the comic books and everything else.
Use the Force, Luke. Let go, Luke.
The Force is strong in this one.
Luke, trust me.
All in all,
it was a great movie. I loved it. Can't say anything bad about it.
I'll take 27 of them. What's that thing from? I loved it. Give me 20 of them. That sound clip that they use all the time.
You have to look that up.
Maybe it's nostalgia goggles.
No,
that's
it's
its whole
not.
show. That's our whole show is based on nostalgia. But
well, yes, it is. But no, this was a good movie.
It's a good movie. Lucas.
I mean,
Hey,
don't get me wrong. I
Lucas.
enjoyed the enhancements, other
Yes.
than the Jabba stepping on the tail thing. It just didn't.
But you looked good. It looked clean.
Yeah, I thought so. I like the enhancements, and I think it was important to do tie-ins because it definitely helped the other movies.
You learn that there's a plastic surgeon that bringing zombies to life and torturing
Zombie,
people. Okay, so we have one last thing to do.
All right, Clive. Let's find out who the winner is.
Our time capsule.
What do you want?
Honestly,
I know.
There's only a few things that I would want. I know what you're thinking of, but my thing would be Princess Leia's buns. It's so iconic. It's like Chewie, R2, C-3PO, Darth Vader, the Millennium Falcon. They all came from this movie, but there is something that's...
Well, in honor of our esteemed guest message, a lightsaber. Maybe you could put buns on it.
I think so, because
Okay.
honestly, a lightsaber, if you didn't have a lightsaber, what is Star Wars without a lightsaber?
Well, I just think we have to cherish and honor our guests and the people that will have reached out to us and been able
Continue
to
to.
enrich our podcast and enrich
Yes.
the fandom and everything else. So, and the fact that you even brought it up, how he nonchalantly used the lightsaber at the bar and brought back the Jedi. So
lightsaber, great points. And no one noticed it, but all right. Or they did. They just were like,
someone had an old tool.
So a lightsaber is officially added
With
into...
cinnamon buns.
With buns. You got nice buns, hon, on the side. It's entered into our time capsule. That was another episode of the Radical Retro Rewind podcast. Okay, next week, David, is another huge one, maybe because it's the original trilogy, but The Empire Strikes Back is usually everybody's favorite Star Wars movie. They say it's the best Star Wars movie.
I don't know, because I was at the Ewok Village. Maybe I'll have flashback.
But we get Yoda. Hey, what you been doing on that planet? Dagobah, Yoda.
Yoda.
What's Yoda's excuse? There was no two suns on Dagobah. Matter of fact, I don't even think it had a sun. It always looked cloudy and swampy where he lived.
Mm-hmm.
So, Radical Ones, you can always reach David at Universal Appeal 2020, all one word, as well as Radical Retro Rewind podcast, one word, on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and beyond. Like we said, next week is Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Great movie.
Oh, and by the way, this movie ended so well because guess what? Luke made the kill shot.
So we get to bring up Galen or so.
Galen. Yes.
Galen, and not Jin, because David forgot about you. So I
didn't forget.
I better get that $5 Five Below Jin Urso for David to add back
Thank
here.
you, Jin. Your memory. Your memory is you did what you did, and you. But if your father had done some kind of kill switch thing that would have stopped it from happening to begin with, all those people on
he wanted the planet to fall. He wanted the Death Star
on
to fall.
Tatooine
You wanted it to
right?
fall
They
right
wouldn't
out
have
of the
died,
air.
right?
Yep.
They wouldn't have died. That whole
Tatooine.
planet. Tatooine. I keep saying
Or-
Tatooine like a tattoo. Tatooine.
Well, why does
Tatooine.
it have to be Tatooine and Tatooine? Are they neighboring?
Maybe it's the twin planets, like the twin
Maybe
suns.
it is like the twin. That's why you see the two suns.
Tattoo.
All they had to do was say a T
I'm
instead
at
of a
Universal Peel 2020.
All one word. Yes.
All one word. You can reach us at.
We did that
at
already. So
something,
there we go.
And you should. And if you like what you heard, you should be following us.
Yes. Leave a
click the follow button. Like us. Follow us. Leave a review, because if you don't, I am going
there's a droid with a needle coming out.
There's a droid with a needle that's going to come after me, because I cannot keep doing this for free.
Oh my god! And the needle might have had caffeine in it.
I've already had 3 energy drinks, and my heart will explode. So if you don't want me,
with these 2 cents, you could save a podcaster from having to live this life without money.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And guess what? May the Force be with you, and stay radical.
And I am the Force, and the Force is me.
In me, out me.
Out me. And don't force me to be on the street.
Tatooine. They're on Tatooine.
Radical rhyme, he's ready to roll.